Gratomic, a very promising company looking to produce tons of high purity graphite. Gratomic currently has two very interesting projects, Capim in Namibia and Buckingham in Canada. And what's more, Capim is planned to become operational any time now. But wait. Gratomic signs letter of intent to acquire 100% interest in Brazilian graphite exploration project. This changes everything. Heyo value investors, how are you doing? My name is Stijn and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are looking at Gratomic, or more specifically their recent news report. Also, if you enjoy content similar to this, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Enough plugging, let's get into it. Gratomic has entered into a letter of intent with Zumbi to acquire 100% of the rights and interest on the Capim Grosso property. And let me tell you, this is a big deal. So for this 100% interest in the Capim Grosso property, Gratomic will pay the following. In short, when the deal closes, Gratomic will pay $200,000 instantly. Then they'll also provide Zumbi $2.3 million Canadian worth of Gratomic shares at that time. And 24 months after closing of the deal, but also 10 days after the pre-feasibility study on this property is done, then they will give them $3 million Canadian as well. So if the deal closes fully, they will pay $5.5 million Canadian total for this property. The vendors, so Zumbi, will also retain a 3% gross smelters return royalty in respect of all minerals processed from the target property other than graphite. So Gratomic continues to state that acquiring the Brazilian graphite project provides Gratomic the opportunity to diversify the company's interest and develop the graphite deposit at the Capim Grosso project. This strategically positions the company to better meet growing demand for high quality graphite and provides a significant competitive advantage by limiting risk. And all in all, thus far I really like this diversification from Gratomic. Zumbi has already completed 3 preliminary drill holes and 10 shallow trenches over a 1 kilometer part of the mineralization. And these results show total graphite carbon of between 6.79% over 2.5 meters to 20.95% over 2.4 meters and 26.47% over 1 meters. And this basically means that the results are quite promising, to say the least. And Gratomic continues to state that immediately following closing, Gratomic will commence a trenching program to generate further geological information and plan further drilling. And I think this is a very important part to note. The company has collected verification samples on the property and has sent these for umpire analysis. And this analysis will form part of the pre-qualification conditions to conclude the transaction. So basically what this means is that only if these verification samples are any good, only then this deal will close. So this is very important to note. The CEO, Armando, stated that bringing Gratomic to his home country has a touch of personal satisfaction to him. And he continues to state that having worked with the largest and most traditional graphite producers in the country, that is Brazil, gives him the required experience to support Gratomic on this very strategic move. And I think this is really strong, especially when you're dealing with the government to get a license. Being a local almost always works better in these cases. So now that we've read through the article together, I think it is time to look at the property itself. Thankfully, the company teased us on their Twitter profile. I will not show you the full video since that will be redundant and boring. But just looking at these rocks together, well, I am no geologist, but even I can tell that all these very dark spots are potential graphite findings. So the property is most definitely a vein of graphite, but the question at this point in time is how large and how pure is the vein? And I am sure that the Gratomic team will find out in due time. Also, the property is located just 4 hours away from the closest port, which seems to be quite reasonable. And I think that leaves us to the last part of this video, my thoughts and a small summary. So first, Gratomic has signed a letter of intent with Zumbi to acquire 100% of the Capim Grosso property. And in total for this deal they'll pay roughly $5.5 million if the deal closes. And this price could be extremely reasonable if the property becomes profitable in the future. And what's more, a large chunk of this money does need to be issued for a long while. So for now, Gratomic has to determine how large and how pure the vein of graphite actually is. But all in all, I think this very interesting graphite company just became 10 times more interesting. In my opinion, the timing of this acquisition couldn't be better. See, the company is currently sitting on quite a healthy pile of cash, roughly $8 million right now. And what's probably even more important, Gratomic is still very much an underdog in the graphite world. And that means that they currently have a better negotiation position than a couple of months in the future. And what I mean by that is that I think it is very likely that if Gratomic signed this letter of intent after Alcon became operational, that the price of this property would have 2, 3 or even 10x'd overnight, just like that. And that would be because Gratomic would be a bigger player then and would be more capable to pay a higher amount. So I think Arno Brandt and the team at Gratomic did an extremely good job getting the conditions in their favor. And I couldn't be more excited for the future of this company. And I think that's about it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like and maybe even subscribe. Comment down below what you want to talk about next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.